Welcome back. In today's episode, we take your questions. If you've ever been concerned about a competitor taking over your spot and destroying your business, this episode's for you. Stay tuned.
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performers Podcast
with your host, Thor Conklin.
Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Thor Conklin here. We give you the tricks, the tips, the tools, the strategy, the technology, and the psychology peak performers use in order to get more done and execute at the highest level. If you know what to do but struggle with getting it all done, or simply want to raise your game to the next level, this podcast is for you. Sit back and enjoy.
Today's question comes in from Nigel in New Zealand. Hi, Nigel. And Nigel asks, Thor, how can I become the company that could put me out of business?
Great question. You know, the first thing that I would suggest is if you were knocked out of your current position as CEO and the board, or just imaginary board, brought someone else in to run your company, and you had a couple minutes or a couple hours to then download that person on what your company was all about, what would you tell them? And then, as the new CEO, imagining that new person there, what might they do? What changes would they start to make that you have not made? You've thought about them possibly, but they would be looking at it through another set of eyes. You can even play this with, Steve Jobs. You can play this with Richard Branson. Okay, Richard Branson is now running my company. What would Richard do? What would Steve do? What would Bill Gates do? Because you're going to start to come up with different ideas as you look through different lenses. So it's a great game that you can play in coming up with great ideas. Questions. Always be asking yourself questions. What am I been afraid to try? What could I try? If I wanted to completely be ridiculous in the area of customer service or our risk reversal, what sort of guarantee would I offer my clients? What sort of out-of-the-box ridiculous idea might I consider? Now, these are just mights. You're just kind of brainstorming. And in order to do this, first and foremost, you got to get to a position where you have the opportunity to think. There's that famous book, Think and Grow Rich. It says think. You've got to take the time to think. And in doing that, that doesn't mean in your office. You've got to get out of your office, get in a special place where you're not going to be interrupted, and you can start to ask yourself these questions. Another great way that I use as well, before I go to bed, I program my subconscious mind, and I'll ask it questions. If I was a different CEO, what would I do differently? Just go through the same questions and ask your brain to answer those while you sleep. Wake up in the morning, you just might find some answers that weren't there before. Make sure you have a pen and a pad next to your bed. There's a Pilot pen that actually has an LED light on it that you can use. So in the middle of the night, you don't have to turn a light on. You can just jot that stuff down on paper.
And don't you think that you could ask a trusted employee in the company those questions?
Absolutely.
If you were running this company, what would you do? And then consider this. If there's no one in the company that you would respect their answer, then that's a problem.
Yeah, you got the wrong team.
Right. And so then you need to start there.
Absolutely.
But if you have a hard time looking at your company objectively or asking yourself something and giving answers back, some people struggle with that, I think.
Yeah.
Then find someone in the company that knows enough about it, that's been there long enough that you trust, that you can feel you have confidentiality with, and ask them those things.
Absolutely. Look, asking your employees, I advise that absolutely. Asking advisors, asking coaches, asking consultants, asking your customers. Hey, what isn't available right now from us that you would love to have available? What changes? If you were running my company, dear customer, you're running my company, what would you do? First answer is probably going to be lower prices. But besides that, you're going to find some really interesting information. You may even find somebody who says raise the prices. Who knows? Ask your competitors. That's right. Ask your competitors that are not in the same geographic area as you. Now, if you're in the internet, you may find other ones not willing to share that information, but you might find some very valuable information from your competitors. And even if you can't ask them directly, see what they're doing. Now,
research them.
Yeah, research them. And I'm not saying whatever they're doing then do or, but find out what they're doing. They're doing it for a reason. They're probably getting results, either good or bad, but find out. And then look at other industries. What are they doing? There's a lot to be learned.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for listening today. I really do appreciate your time, and I hope you found today's show valuable. If you would like to receive these shows automatically to your phone or to your computer, simply go to iTunes and subscribe. After listening to several of the shows, if you're so inclined, please leave us a 5-star rating, as this helps us reach additional people and spread the message. If you're truly committed to taking your life to the next level and doing whatever it takes to become a peak performer, but something's holding you back, something is blocking your way, and you just can't seem to figure out what it is, send me an email to info@thorconklin.com, and I'd be more than happy to get on the phone with you. We'll schedule a 15-minute discovery call. No obligation, no cost. I absolutely love to hear from the listeners, and if there's something I can do to help, I'd be more than happy to do that. Also, if you found something of great interest in today's show and you want to share that with your friends and family, simply go to my Facebook page, Thor Conklin, click on the episode, hit the share button, and share it on your page. You can follow me at Twitter @ThorConklin. The website is thorconklin.com. We're constantly adding new free resources, discussing additional tricks, tips, tools, and strategies on how to be a peak performer. Remember, I try to keep these episodes short so you can listen to them during dot time, doing other things, commuting, driving, walking, working out. Decide to be a peak performer in all that you do. And until tomorrow, have an absolutely amazing day.